Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Galloway, and I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, what's considered by most to be the birthplace of monster trucks. I'm referring to Midwest four-wheel drive, the home and the headquarters for the king of the monster truck, Bigfoot. Over the past couple of years, I've had the chance to see all sorts of exciting monster truck competition. From the exciting and grueling mud bog competition the hill climbing, the competitive car crushing, and now the most exciting event of all, monster truck racing. For the next hour for you and the next 48 hours for me, we're going to get a unique glimpse of the behind-the-scenes action as we go on the road with the king and his crew. We're going to go on the road with Bigfoot. But before we go, let's meet the creator of monster truck and Bigfoot, Bob Chandler. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Mike.
Crew all ready to go?
Crew's ready. The truck is ready. They'll be leaving in a few hours. It's going to be a good weekend.
Well, while the crew finishes the last-minute details before we get on the road, let's take a look at how and when this all began. Back in 1974, Bob Chandler of St. Louis, Missouri, commandeered the family pickup truck and began using it to promote a new business venture, a company called Midwest Four-Wheel Drive and Performance Center. For a little added publicity, Bob and his wife, Marilyn, began traveling throughout Missouri and Illinois, attending different off-road events. They didn't make any money, but they had a lot of people starting to take notice. Eventually, promoters from around the country began booking Bob Chandler's Bigfoot as a side attraction to help fill the seats for other events. No car crushing or aerial maneuvers back then, just a little fancy footwork. That's how it began. One truck, one driver, Bob Chandler and his dream. That was then. This is now Bigfoot, the main event. More than 14 years have passed since that first truck, and according to Bigfoot's chief design engineer, Bob Pal Freeman, you can never go back.
There's no way a truck we had 8 years ago could do what they're doing today. Because of just the nature of the things he's doing requires a whole lot more strength and durability and reliability than what he was doing from just driving on the street truck, doing an exhibition show, to the competition events we're into nowadays. They're entirely different. I think this is going to become something as popular as any type of NASCAR event or drag race event. We're just now starting to see what these monster trucks can do and what they will do.
These trucks can take this incredible amount of abuse because they're custom built from the ground up. How does one go about building a monster truck? Let's go to the action. All right, Gene, we ready to go?
Sure, I can go.
I'm riding shotgun. We're finally on our way. Heading out with Bigfoot, the crew to TNT's Monster Truck Challenge at the Coliseum in Roanoke, Virginia. This is the first event of this size in Roanoke, so the crowd should be ready. And from what we've heard about the Coliseum and the competition, it's going to be one very tough race. Jim, when you look at a monster truck, probably the most distinguishing thing about the vehicle, it says I'm a monster truck, it's got to be the giant tires. Where do these tires come from?
These tires are originally developed for commercial liquid fertilizer spreading machinery used in the Midwest and some of the western states and the very large farms. Each tire can carry over 10,000 pounds. A monster truck only weighs 15,000, so one tire can almost support the weight of the whole truck.
How long will a set of these tires last in competition?
In competition or just general use, I have gotten as much as 2 years out of a set of tires, knock on wood. And I've also got as little as a month out of a brand new set. It really depends on how you hit the cars. If you land on the cars wrong, you're going to come in contact with the windshield post, antennas, and a few other things that can really take one of these tires and cut it wide open and ruin it.
You may be wondering about the colorful vehicle transporting Bigfoot and the crew. Well, it's a big responsibility to be a Bigfoot crew member while on the road. You see, you can't drive a monster truck down the highway. They're not exactly considered street legal transportation.
I don't see that.
So in order to get Bigfoot from one place to the other and do it in a safe, clean, and convenient manner, the crew also drives and must care for a Ford custom-made LTL 9000, built and outfitted specially to haul Bigfoot. The 48-foot trailer not only accommodates the crew with sleeping quarters, kitchen, and bath, it also keeps Bigfoot safe and ready to roar when they reach their final destination. We've been on the road for a little while and decided it was time to top off the tank. Check over the rig, stretch our legs, and take a little break. Hey guys, it's only 3. Let's go have some coffee.
Let's go park the truck in the back and we'll get a table. I'll see you guys inside.
Okay.
You buying?
I guess.
All right.
Guys, anything else?
I think this will do it.
Thank you.
Jim, you've got a family at home and youngsters in school, and what do they think about Daddy driving Bigfoot?
I got a boy, he's 3, and he's brainwashed. He loves the truck. He has to go to bed with one and has to wear the Bigfoot t-shirt most all the time. My daughter, she's 7, started school, and first few days of school, they just didn't believe her. Because one of the first things they had to do in school was stand up and tell her about your family. What your daddy did, what your mom, does for a hobby. And she stood up and says, well, my daddy drives Bigfoot. And everybody went, boo-hoo, I don't believe you. And so they had a parade one day, a little town parade, and they actually get 2 schools together and parade down Main Street, very small town I live in, 2,400 people. And I brought the Bigfoot shuttle up there and just fell in behind the fire department in the parade and surprised everybody.
Daddy did drive Bigfoot.
He drove the Bigfoot shuttle that day. They all know that anyway.
How many miles do you travel a year?
Probably each rig probably averages about 80,000 miles a year.
How many shows? How many shows do you and Gene do?
Gene and I will probably do, say, 45, maybe to 50 shows. Some he'll do on his own, and others we'll do together, some of the bigger events.
I guess it's my turn to buy coffee. Let's get on the road and try some more. Before we left St. Louis, I had an opportunity to talk with Jim and Bob Chandler about their favorite kind of Bigfoot action. And not surprisingly, they all had their favorite event. Jim Kramer, for example, enjoys it down and dirty in the mud.
when I pull up that line, what goes through my mind is hopefully I've got my engine tuned just as crisp as it can be, developing the most horsepower it can. Did I pick the right spot in that 40-foot area to launch from? Launch is all important in a mud run. Did I pick the bottom of the terrain in the pit? Did I pick the right spot to go through? Is the left front tire going to grab and throw me completely over to the right, almost out of the pit and be disqualified? A lot of those things are running through your mind. Perfect mud pit is one that you can hopefully make it through with and use all your truck. You know what I mean? Make it, but use every ounce of power and every ounce of driving technique you have. I call that a perfect pit.
It took me, I guess, four years before I finally made it over the gravel-rama hill. It's a 270-foot high, 70-degree angle pea gravel hill. And at first they wouldn't even let me on it because the truck was too big. It'd tear the hill up, is what they said. And finally, after their events were over, it'd usually be 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, they'd finally let me attempt the hill. I have one truck that I use for hill climbing. It's Bigfoot 1, the original one. And we've got a great big motor in there, 640 cubic inch Allen root motor. And it produces a lot of wheel speed, and that's what it takes to kind of keep the tires spinning. There's just all the way up the hill to get over it. I guess it was about 2 years ago I finally got a chance to do it in the daytime, and we went, after third try, we went clean over the top of it, and it was neat. It's a good feeling. We had 2 cars out in a farmer's field. They let us park it there and try, and drove over the cars twice and videotaped it. We used a videotape in our shop as a promo. You know, people come into the shop to see the videotape. It took us 6 months after I crushed the first set of cars before we do it in front of a crowd. A promoter asked me to do a car crush in front of the crowd, and Merrill and I talked about it, and he says, no, it's destructive, and it would really hurt the image that we've got. And he finally talked me into doing it, and the crowd went nuts. And all ages, kids to grandmothers, they really liked it, what we did, so we've been doing it ever since. Things are completely different now. You know, when we first started this car crushing, it was you drove out onto the track and you crawl over the cars, and that was a big thing. Then it slowly progressed where you finally we did a wheel stand over the cars. Now, Jim Kramer, Rich Hooser, they're racing and they're jumping cars. They hit the first one and clear 7 of them.
Well, we finally made it to our destination, Roanoke, Virginia. Took just over 13 hours and 620 miles. You know, in just a few hours, thousands of people who have paid to get a glimpse of this star will be inside. Every successful athlete, movie star, or celebrity has their group of dedicated fans. Well, Bigfoot is no exception, and it's captured in the hearts of people from every walk of life and from all over the world. Seems like no matter where Bigfoot vehicles go or what they do, the fans go wild. Why do people shower such affection, attention, and undivided loyalty on this truck? Well, it might be because at a time when red-blooded heroes were getting a little scarce, Bigfoot was developing into a great American success story. And over the years, like any good star, the Bigfoot owners, Bob and Marilyn Chandler, and their crews haven't forgotten their roots. The how and why of Bigfoot's phenomenal success, the Bigfoot fan. And that's why for more than a decade, with a fan club of 15,000 members and still growing, much of Bigfoot's time in the spotlight has been devoted to making personal appearances, donating time to charity, and just plain working hard to make people happy.
As far as the Bigfoot fans, I love them. They come out here to see us win, and that puts another burden on top of my shoulders. If I'm crewing for my driver, I want the driver to be only thinking about the race. I want that truck in tip-top shape. If it means, laying on the ground or in a puddle of oil for 25 minutes trying to fix a line or something, just so he can go back in and race again.
The Bigfoot trucks have appeared in all 50 states, Canada, and Puerto Rico. They've performed without prejudice in front of stadium crowds as large as 75,000, or hospitals and children's homes for just one or two. Just about every spare minute in Bigfoot's schedule is devoted to its fans. And all the excitement generated by fan loyalty didn't go unnoticed by the media. The truck has, without a doubt, generated more media coverage than any single vehicle ever built. Over the years, Bigfoot has appeared in countless magazines and newspapers. The story of Bigfoot has been distributed throughout the world. As a matter of fact, the monstrous success of Bigfoot has made a monstrously big business, and that requires special attention from the other owner of Bigfoot, Marilyn Chandler.
I think every year we felt like, this is really great. Here we get to travel, and we're doing what we like, and we've met a lot of great people, and we kept telling ourselves that this is, we have to do as much as we can this year, go to this trip and go on this thing. We just did everything we possibly could because we always thought it was just going to be a flash in the pan. We thought we would do this and then it would fade out. But every year it kept getting bigger and bigger. We have several employees who just work on the books for Bigfoot, and that's all they do. Not only do you have to get a contract in the first place, you have to figure out the logistics of traveling across the country, how many miles, how many people you have to send out, what type of product you should send for the show, and you have to keep track of all this. And then just the paperwork, and there's a lot of government paperwork that has to be done in any kind of a business. And keeping track of all the employees. We have about 50 employees, so keeping track of the employees and the time that they're out on the road and trying to make sure that everybody has some time off, and yet keeping up all the qualities of our shows because the guys are on the road a lot and they really work hard. And we want to make sure that our shows are always, top quality. So all that's really difficult to keep track of.
But beyond its commercial value, Bigfoot's status as a silent spokesperson, an American hero, is constantly being applied by Bob and Marilyn Chandler towards trying to help people and make them feel good. From sharing Bigfoot magic with the patients in hospitals to showing kids that drugs aren't the answer, Bigfoot is larger-than-life proof that dreams can come true. The mania of this monster truck has been growing since the truck made its movie debut back in 1979. The list of movie and television credits made by Bigfoot over the years would make any star envious. From the unforgettable cameo appearance in Take This Job and Shove It, Guest appearance in Police Academy 2. That's incredible.
Competition.
On its road to victory, Bigfoot has left behind an incredible path of destruction.
Here's another look at Bigfoot's bruising dash to the finish. Bigfoot has proved once again it's truly the most incredible monster truck.
Ripley's Believe It or Not.
For the crowd, Bigfoot is the ultimate fantasy, a force no traffic jam could ever resist. The tires are 10 feet tall. A 1,000 horsepower engine roars under the hood, and the entire rig weighs 7 tons.
And Cannonball Run 2. The list goes on and on. These days, real superstardom only comes once you've made it in music videos for MTV.
To be exact, this is not fiction, this is all fact. The man in the back is dressed in black. He's on what we
While the crew prepares Bigfoot for tonight's monster truck battle, let's take a look at some of the types and highlights of monster truck competition with Bigfoot.
The monster truck competition, as far as the circuit we're racing right now, it depends a lot on the crew member and the driver. It's like any other type of racing. There's always somebody behind the scenes. The people behind the scenes here are in the shop, and they put a lot on my shoulders when I'm out on the road to keep the truck into the race.
You got to know this story. Each one of these guys has the ultimate respect for the other one, but neither one will give an inch. Side by side qualify, and here we go.
A straight course, what we refer to as a bonsai course, the truck is more responsible than the driver is. The driver, all he has to do is hold it straight, whereas if you have turns involved, it becomes a 50-50 street that way. and the driver is more apt to make a mistake and lose the race that way. So it depends a lot on what type of course you're going to race.
There's definitely an element there. You no longer have you in the truck and say the mud pit. You have you, the truck, the obstacles, and the other fella in his truck with his obstacles. That's a whole nother area to contend with. You've got to try to say leave the line and run the best race you can without getting any intimidation from him and having that affect you. There's a whole lot of psych that goes on in these monster truck racing. You don't think so, but it's much like staging up for a drag race. He's watching you, you're watching him, you're seeing how you act, seeing who kind of extrudes confidence, who's a little bit leery. You know, you can tell just by looking over at him. You can tell what kind of shape of frame of mind he's in, how he's going to run. Is it going to be hard, or is it going to be easy to beat? A lot of that you can see in a man's eyes.
Now, Jim Kramer's one of the quickest men on the throttle. When that green flag drops, you can bet he'll nail the motor. It's whichever motor comes to life. The Duraliner truck's a little heavier. It may not leave as quick as the Bigfoot truck. It's time for the drag race shootout. Bigfoot's out the lead, but here's the Duraliner giant. Bigfoot, they're side by side. They're side by side in the shootout. In the shootout, it's Bigfoot at the finish. It's Bigfoot at the finish. Well, Rick Hoosier has come around and parked on the line, going back at it immediately. He'll go back to back. He will come up against Barefoot. This ought to be quite a race. Fred, as you mentioned, in the far lane, the little bit of problem, and Fred has got to be going through his mind right now what happened on that pyramid of cars just a moment ago.
Oh, it definitely does. This could very well happen again. If Fred can leave the cars a little bit to the right, I think he's going to come off that pyramid a lot.
There it is. Hoosier's still after him. It's a close race. Hoosier trying to jump him. Barefoot's really out of the lead up over the hill. Now, this is where he won it before. It's a tight race. It's tied up. They are just even. Barefoot will not let up either one of them. Hoosier's going to go for it. Hoosier is going for it. Can he do it? Can he do it? Oh, my heaven. That was a very, very close race. An action-packed race. It's a photo finish. We're going to look at it. This is the last set of cars, and here is the finish high in the air. Barefoot is leading it right there, but I believe that Rick passes him right here. The landing is so critical.
Bigfoot actually passed him in the air. Fred was on the cars first, but he had lost his forward momentum. He didn't charge the cars fast enough. On the other hand, Rick had so much speed going when he hit the cars, his speed never stopped. His momentum carried him ahead of Fred while they were flying in the air over the cars. Great run.
A very good run, and they have declared Bigfoot the winner. It was a photo finish, and Rick Hoosier has been declared the winner of that heat. What a race. It could be an upset tonight. The Skull Bandit truck has really been doing a great job. They've changed the motor in the truck just recently. It, for many, many years, ran a V12 Jaguar. They've converted over to a 454 cubic inch big block Chevrolet. The truck's light, it's quick, it's agile. He could beat Bigfoot tonight. Look out, look out, here we go. Bigfoot is just flying, but the Bandit right there beside him. It's going to be a finish, photo finish. Bigfoot takes it. That was probably as tough a race as Bigfoot has been in quite some time. The Skull Bandit truck out of California was really on him all the way through, and he tortured that Bigfoot truck.
Here it is, the People's Choice. This is Bigfoot. Andy Brass behind the wheel tonight. You know the details. It's an 88 Ford, 429 under the hood. And we have really an expert witness here tonight with us, Mike, for some expert commentary. Rick Hoosier, who drives Bigfoot on occasion. Today he's with us up here in the broadcast booth. Hi, Rick.
Lines up and goes for it right now.
Whoa, man!
Rich, what happened when you line up for the cars? What's going through your mind?
Well, the main thing, Mike, is to make sure you get lined up straight on the cars, especially in a smaller arena like this. You want to make sure you hit them straight so you can land straight. When you do that, you make a lot better show, and you can get up in the air a little bit higher, and it really looks good. Andy's doing an excellent job so far.
when it lands, the compression, the jolt that the body takes. Is it as violent on the inside as it looks like?
Yes, it is. We wear all sorts of safety equipment from kidney belts to neck braces, our helmets. Even when we hang out the window like a couple of us do, we have to wear a little eye protection in case some of the pieces of the cars come flying up. Now when Andy's here, he's come back the other way where the other guys haven't come on, so he should be able to get good air on this shot right here.
Now, good air meaning that the cars are straight up and down, and when it hits it, it's going to put the truck right up in the air.
Right. When you come out second, third, even fourth after a couple other monster trucks, they're pretty well flattened out, and you need to hit them a little bit harder to get that truck up in the air.
Let's see what happens.
Whoa! Andy Brass with a superb run in Bigfoot.
How long's Andy been driving a truck?
Andy started last summer, and he's a natural. He just come into it, and he seems to be doing real good. He's not afraid of the truck. He just gets out there and does a good job at it.
Should you be afraid of the truck or just respect what the truck can do?
Respectful of the truck because they're put together real well. Roy Hooser, my brother, and Bob Powell Freeman are the two that build these trucks and keep them maintenance. And from that shot right there, you can see how well they can hold together.
One of the main reasons competition and exhibition events like this are possible is the total attention to safety, both for the drivers and the spectators. Let's take a quick look at some of the ways that the Monster Truck Racing Association, MTRA, is making sure that Bigfoot and other monster trucks remain perfectly safe. Bigfoot driver Jim Kramer explains.
Let's start out with the front of the truck. Here we have a steel split rim wheel. The safety lock ring is mounted to the inside. And we do that because in case of a rim failure or a tire failure, and the safety ring would become dislodged, it would move to the middle of the truck, or toward the middle of the truck, and be detained. Up here we have engine shields. Now what they do in case of an internal engine failure, any parts coming off of the engine should hit the shield and be deflected down or up, in which case the hood would catch the parts. Above here we have blower restraint straps and also aluminum blower studs. These two devices will let the blower lift about 3/4 of an inch in case there's an explosion in the blower or too much pressure. Relieve the pressure and let it come back down and rest without dislodging any fuel lines and have raw fuel on your engine. Let's go back here to the chassis area. In the chassis area, we have a 360-degree flywheel shield, and right back from that we use a full transmission blanket. These parts can be seen much better on a truck which is under construction. Down from the transmission into the driveline area, we have dry shaft loops on the front of the dry shaft and also the back. In case the dry shaft would break in either one of those areas, both parts would be contained and allowed to rotate in a very confined area and not just be allowed to rotate in a large area and maybe hit something on the truck and have it fly off. Now, all of our U-joints have a 360-degree shield on them. Any kind of retaining ring or a bearing cap, if it was to come loose for some reason, it would be contained by that shield. Let's move on to the back of the truck. In the rear of the truck, we have a backup alarm mounted underneath. This alarm is activated anytime the truck is put into reverse. It has 112 decibels and clearly can be heard above the roar of the engine. Right here we have a safety shutdown switch. This is put on the truck in case a problem arises. Someone besides the driver can shut this truck down. Now let's look at some of the safety features inside the cab. All right, once inside the truck, we start out with a seat, bucket seat, foam padded. Also has another feature, is this air bladder. And once you put on your seat belt, we use a 3-inch lap belt with a mechanical locking device on it. Once you put it on and get it securely tightened, you'll take this air bladder control and pump it up. Now what this will do is apply air pressure right here in your back. This will firmly plant you in the seat and really support your body. Right inside the cab here we have a full roll bar mounted directly to the frame. It is cross brace and diagonally braced in the back. It's 125 thousandths thick, and we try to keep the structural members as straight as possible to support the weight. It is padded. Wherever we feel the driver might come in contact with the bar, we have the padding on it. And of course, with your helmet and your padding, it'll keep you from getting a headache. The reason we go to such extremes in strengthening the cab and driver area is because of situations like these. I came out of this otherwise dangerous incident totally unharmed. On the dashboard right here, we have our kill switch. We told you about the kill switch on the back of the truck earlier. They're both tied in the same way. If you hit that kill switch, every piece of electrical equipment on your truck is dead. You have just stopped everything. No fuel pumps, no ignition anywhere. It really helps in the case of a fire. Along with our kill switch, here on the dash we use, and just introduced, is a remote kill switch for the truck. Now what this will do is one of our crewmen can be on the sidelines. I can be out actually driving the truck. If I get in a precarious situation where he thinks it might hurt someone or damage some property, he can push this button and kill my truck. If I am incapacitated in any way, the truck can be stopped from the sidelines. Okay, some of the features for the driver would be, first of all, is your kidney belt. This does two things: support your kidneys when you're bouncing around the truck, and also really support your lower back. Keeps your whole midsection tightened up. Here we have a cervical collar. It goes around your neck, and what it does is helps you support the weight of your helmet. Your neck has muscles in the back. It can take quite a jolt forward, but not very many neck or muscles right here in the forward part of your body to keep your head from getting whiplashed. And with the amount of slamming and knocking around a driver must take in a competitive situation, these belts and supports are critically necessary. Also with the helmet, which is Snell 75 approved, we have goggles in case the driver has a style where he drives outside of the cab. It keeps any debris from getting in his eyes and causing a vision problem. Along with that, we have a full flame-resistant suit, including boots, jumpsuit, and gloves. With all this equipment on, we feel that a better protected driver will be a safer driver. All of these safety features which I have pointed out to you are required by the Monster Truck Racing Association. They are put on to help protect the driver, track personnel, and all spectators in the stands. I've driven for a long time. Any time in that seat is time that you are gaining experience. If the truck gets in a precarious situation and you get out of it, you subconsciously, you remember what you did. It's kind of a survival instinct. If it goes up on two wheels, you got to make a fast correction, maybe get on the gas, flick the steering wheel, get yourself back down. Then also, a lot of it might be second nature, it becomes second nature, but then again, we use the video as a tool. And we will take a situation where I might get in a bad shape, come back and show the driver, show them how to do it. Try to implant this in their head. If they get in this position, make this correction. I've probably learned the hard way. I've been on my side. I've been on my top. I've learned the hard way. These monster trucks, it gets real expensive to learn the hard way these days.
Well, cars are set, the track's ready. Let's go take a look at it. What are you going to do?
Well, Mike, the way the course is set up, it's short and quick like we talked about earlier. It could be maybe a one-gear track or two-gear track. I've really not made up my mind yet. I need to see what some of these other trucks do.
Right here, top of the hill, will you be wide open on the truck?
Be wide open when I start.
When you start?
Be wide open when I finish. It's that kind of a track.
What do the rules say concerning landing on the cars? What if you miss?
Well, ideally, you have to hit the first car. We have what we call a 2-and-2 rule. Your two front tires have to impact the first car. If you land on the stack and bounce off, as long as at least two of your tires stay on the stack, you can actually drive down the side of the stack toward the finish line and win. So that's why it's called 2 and 2. Your 2 front tires have to hit the lead car. And if you cleared them, that's legal too. You can clear all the cars and land with 4 tires on the other side.
Jim, this finish line area still worries me. It still seems real short.
Actually, this is a good finish. You have 2 cars to hit and help slow you down. You hit these 2 cars, they'll kind of break your speed and start getting on the brakes and hope you stop before the wall. Now, if you don't, at least you have a tunnel that you can duck over and go toward the tunnel.
Will you go to the tunnel?
If I have to, definitely. I don't want to impact that wall. The wall always wins.
Well, as you can tell from the crowd response that it's time for Bigfoot. Jim Kramer, considered one of the top monster truck racers in America. He has drawn the number 3 qualifying spot. Bigfoot into the box and gets ready to go to work. Supercharged 460 cubic inch Ford motor. Triple Predator carburetors. Kramer on go. Let's see how he attacks the track. Short shot out of the hole. Watching on the car. Flying over all of them. Cleared the line. Airborne and cleared the line. In the sky, and he wiped him. We'll wait on a time. It could be one of the toughest to beat. Bigfoot has the quick time of the night with a 4.9, a 4.9 on foot. So that is quick time. Of course, quick time gives you an advantage. The Gravedigger, its rear engine. Top of it. Earth-shattering, ground-pounding pass. Well, the qualifying rounds have been set with the fastest time tonight going to Bigfoot, and he will run the slowest time, which was Lethal Weapon. Then it'll be Rambo versus the Barbarian. King Crunch will run Stomper. Just Showing Off will run Ever Jasmer's USA 1. Quick time, second quick time of the night goes to the Gravedigger, and he will run Playing for Keeps. So that's the stage as they'll come in and run side by side for an eliminator bracket. Well, the crowd gets into it as first round begins, and Jim Kramer, setting fast time of the night and having lane choice, goes to the odd side of the track. He'll run the Lethal Weapon truck. The times are important. But right now, the winning is the most important thing of all. As they sit on the line, and we'll listen as the motors come alive. It's a one-shot program. Puts out the lead. Kramer's flying him on his nose. Makes it out. It's a Bigfoot win. As the Weapon gets in a little bit of trouble, comes off the right-hand side of the car. So Foot will go outside and qualify for another round. Second round coming up. Well, Jim Kramer qualified with a 472, came back on the second pass with a 456. So you can tell that that side of the track is getting a little bit faster. The even side of the track is showing some signs of fatigue as it's pulling the drivers off to the right side on their passes. So far in the second round of racing, quick time is owned by Crunch. Look at that. Talk about Crunch. They have smashed them to nothing. Playing for Keeps this stage. He's running the big blown motor of the Gravedigger. Who's it gonna be? Well, it's Gravedigger. He covers them. And I mean, he covers it all. The Gravedigger, and we're running out of cars. Now, it'll just be a short period of time between this round and the winner of this round advancing on to the semifinal. Jim Miller versus Jim Kramer in a pair of Ford trucks. Both of them staged very carefully. Watch for the light to go green. Clock starts then. Who's it gonna be? It's the whole shot. It made all the difference. landing for Jim Kramer. Semi-final round, the quarterfinal. This winner of this will go into the finals, and it's Bigfoot versus Lambo. The Ford has quick time of the night so far, and that is a 4.36. He did it on his last run at a 4.36. Lambo stayed. Bigfoot is staged. One of these will go home. Christmas tree light in hand. Watch them as they go. Who's it gonna be? Kramer leaves on him. Look at that. Shuts it down at the wall. Shuts it down at the wall. You don't get much closer than that. As Bigfoot, Jim Kramer, goes into the finals. They've broken the truck. Well, Bigfoot on a class pass when it came off the cars had to get on the grinders real bad, really running right up to the wall. It looks like there has been a problem in the hydraulic on the rear steering, possibly a ruptured line. You can see one of the pit men over on the inside making some kind of adjustment. Now, he's got a few more minutes before he's called the final round. He will run if he can get repaired against the gravedigger. A very trying situation. He's had quick time of the night. If they're going to make it into the final round, they've got to do it in a hurry. We talked earlier about the ruptured steering line on the Bigfoot truck. The line is a steel line hydraulic hose, but it's actually been cut. When the truck got on the brakes, the rear end rolled over and spliced the line completely open, losing hydraulic fluid and wiping out the rear steering. They have gone to the pit area, they're going to repair it, and they'll be back in just a moment. This is the final. Bigfoot has qualified and also ran a quick time of a 4:36 and then a 4:39. The digger has ran consistent 4:49s all night long. Bigfoot in a familiar lane. Gravedigger in a lane that he has not been in all night long. The two fastest trucks on the premises go head-to-head for the championship here in Roanoke, Virginia. Jim Kramer running 460 cubic inches. He calls that his little motor. The foot pulls it out. Bigfoot pulls it out at the end. He did it in the air. What a finish for what a race. Bigfoot on top all the way. What a final. It was neck and neck, and he passed him right at the line. Bigfoot takes one home. Looks like that when Jim Kramer landed, the right front tire came back around real hard. So it could be another problem for Bigfoot, but at this time of the night, it makes no difference. It's all Overville. He does it in a 4:33. That's the quickest anyone has ran the course all night long. It's Bigfoot in the winner's circle tonight. The crowd cheering the king of the monster trucks, Bigfoot. From very humble beginnings as a hobby of one man to world-sweeping phenomena as it is today, shaping the face of one of the newest competitive sports in automotive racing. Bigfoot, king of the monster truck, will have a unique and unforgettable place in legend and history. Bigfoot, part Hollywood star, the unflinching hero, meeting all challenges head-on, and part American dream, trying your hardest to win and succeeding against all odds. Bigfoot, king of the monster truck, makes the kind of statement that most Americans want to hear. And according to Bob Chandler, the countless hours and days spent making Bigfoot a reality really were worth it.
It's so neat to get out there in front of the crowd and see their reactions, see the kids' reactions mainly. That's what really turns me on. We work here a lot of hours. We work through the night quite often. We turn around and look at each other and say, what are we doing this for? And you get out and do a show, and the kids come up to the truck before and after the show, and it's like an idol to them, and that makes it worthwhile.
Is that the Bigfoot camera?
Yeah.